talking about the North London derby this weekend. Can we win at the Emirates, guys? James, how are you feeling about the game? Are you confident going into it? It's probably the most happy we've gone into a North London derby at the Emirates for a long time.
I think that's the key words. I think it's happy, yeah. Can we win it? It's a different question. I reckon we will. I do. I just don't think it's going to be as easy as these games. Not as easy, as much possession as we've seen in these games up until now. And it's going to be interesting to how we adapt to not having like most of the possession. I don't think they're going to let us have all this big percentage of possession. I don't know the stats in the last game, but watching them, big possession stats that we've been getting. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. I actually think this is another question I've got in my head. I think Solomon's going to score weirdly. I keep envisaging Solomon scoring in here weirdly. But this brings me to my point. I think it's very, very hard to do. Who's your front three? Which is great. It's not bang, bang, bang. Do you know what I mean?
It's a good question. It's a good question. There's actually a question here from Alex saying, is our best front three Kulu, Son and Johnson?
I would still stick with Solomon, Son, Kulu starting.
I really want to see Johnson start this game, though. I think he's got those attributes that can really hurt Arsenal's back line. I really do.
On and do that. Like he's in the and I saw him walking down a tunnel, by the way. See him walking down a tunnel. He's only been playing for us 20 minutes, and he's pure Tottenham, isn't he? That was amazing to see. But I guess the answer is, like, whichever one I think that we would say here, we would still all of us go, yeah, that'd be good. That's good. You know, which is amazing that we're in that position. Because even if Richarlison started, even if he did, a lot of us would be like, yeah, back him. The way he come on, the way he played, he got that goal, he got the assist. So starting with Richie isn't like a bad thing. But yeah, the fact that there's no direct answer when all the last few years there has been, that fills me with a lot of confidence. And I think to play Ange ball, you need that. Didn't he say like, is this a direct quote or have I misread this? Someone said about if play another 20 minutes and we'd be the fittest team on the pitch.
That's what he said, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe if Arsenal start time wasting, that will be all right.
Ange said he believes we're the fittest team in the league, and if if Sheffield United want to waste time and add an extra 20 minutes, then let's go. We'll go for it.
Let's do it. So I would go Solomon, Son, Kulu purely because the way we've been playing and starting with them seems to have been working. And then the first person I'd like to see Richie and Johnson brought on basically. And I would have said Perisic, but unfortunately what's happened. But I would have said that as well. Did he change to 4, didn't he? He had Kulu on when he changed the front 3. He changed Kulu on as well. That was
Kulu went to number 8, put Kulu centre.
Yeah, that seemed to have worked as well.
I thought he got better when he moved centrally. I thought he got much better.
Yeah.
And much more creative. So maybe that's something to think about. But Sonny, you think we could go to the Emirates, get all 3 points this weekend?
I might bring the tone down a little bit. I think we're going to get a draw.
Oh, come on, Sonny.
No, I got.
We say the place for realism.
I think it'll be a draw.
Mind delusion.
I just think that midfield battle is going to be like very interesting because, you know, this is going to be the first real big test for Basuma, I'd say. Maddison, I think, could have a field day if he's on form, especially, you know, with his vibe and attitude. You know, he's winding up the Sheffield United players at the weekend as well. So I feel like if he can get in some Arsenal heads, that'd be perfect. And I feel like it's just going to be quite congested in that midfield as well. If you think our fullbacks are going to be in there, their fullbacks are going to be inverted in there. So it's going to be a game with fine margins. I can see us attacking them. Do you know what it is with Arsenal? Everyone's saying, like, you know, another title fight. And I was speaking to an Arsenal fan earlier. I don't think they've started the season as well as people think. You know, they're getting results, but I still think they look a bit sluggish. They're slowing the game down, and their defence doesn't look as strong. Whereas we're going to be zipping that ball. We're going to be moving it quick. You know, we aren't going to stop from minute 0 to 90, hopefully. So the thing that worries me is I think one over-the-top ball, and when you've got Saka instead of Cameron Archer or someone like that. They're the players that will punish you. I think we're ready for this test. I think this test is going to be a good one, but I'm going to have to sit on the fence and get some splinters. I'm sorry, I can't say a win at this stage. I think Liverpool.
Draw, Sonny. You going for a draw?
Yeah, I'll go 2-2.
Just to add some context to the predictions before we carry on, they are obviously Arsenal are playing tonight, and they have gone full strength in their lineup. Who's in goal? Devon Raya is in goal. But so they've been in goal. But other than that,
it's pretty much as you'd expect. It's White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Rice,
Just some injuries.
Rice,
Yes,
Odegaard, and Havertz, with Saka, Trossard, and Jesus starting. So, do we think that them playing in midweek and Spurs having a free week could have a potential impact in this game, regardless of whether they get injuries or not?
On how moany Arteta's going to be and the excuses he's going to have post-match. But yeah, no, they should be used to it. I mean, last season, I think they only did so well because they didn't have these distractions. I think that, well, not only, but it's played a massive part. But I'm the same. I think they haven't started the same as last season, and I think maybe they need a team to come along to find them out. Also, like this is another thing I thought. If you could choose one of that from the Tottenham team to be on form, would see out the game, who would it be?
Bissouma for me.
Bissouma,
100%. I think if Bissouma controls that midfield, then it gives us such a big chance to go and win that game. I think, James, do you, or Sonny, or Sim, I mean, I know your answer, Sim, but do you think that Bissouma is better than Declan Rice? It's such an unpopular opinion, but I can't see the things that Bissouma can do with the football. Rice could only dream of doing those kind of things. And we were with some Arsenal fans last night doing some content, and we brought the suggestion over that Bissouma is better than Rice, and they didn't even want to listen to it. Never even mind debate it. You know
Shock
what I mean?
horror.
They're so arrogant, those lot. It's unbelievable.
I think of course he is. I think it's quite obvious. And I think the only thing that Rice is better at doing is getting more money for value for that market value for Rice is just mental. It's crazy. I'm sure even the Arsenal fans will realise that that's crazy money. So say Rice went for what he should have gone for, let's say 75, 80 or something like that.
60,
a little bit more
65.
realistic. Yeah, 65, 20, 15, 10 million. But what he should have gone for, then I think that it would be quite an easy thing. And I think that price has made it be the way that it is. But I actually don't think it's even that close. I think Bissouma's quite a bit ahead to what he can do with football. That assist as well in the international, we need to see that. As if Declan Rice could do something like that. So yeah, he's got more strings to his bow.
So I'll give you £1 million before I see Declan Rice doing something like that assist that Bissouma did against Mark.
He's just £100 million Mark Noble, sideways and backwards. Bissouma knows what a forward pass looks like. Let's just put it that way.
Well, do you think Bissouma's better than Rice, Sonny?
I mean, I'll be honest. I did a video on this. What was it after I think the second fixture, and I think a few people were a bit whoa, because I even said Caicedo as well. I think the problem is people are still judging Bissouma from last season, where it was just. There's no point judging people from last season. I think you had to wipe the slate clean because last season was just a disaster, but apart from Harry Kane, but I think when these players have cost £100 million and they're not goal scorers or goal contributors, why isn't Bissouma in that echelon? And the fact that we did pick him up for 25 million, and also he's probably now one of the only players to leave Brighton and actually turn out all right. I'm thinking of some of the others, maybe McAllister, but still early days for him as well. But I just think Bissouma offers, we said it last week, didn't we? Very Dembele-esque, glides on the ball, finds the perfect pass all the time, strong. So I think, he will have to have a great game. I think as well, answering the other question that you said, Ben, I think Destiny Udogie, he has got to make sure he's got Saka locked down on that right-hand side, left-hand side. Because, Destiny Udogie's looked great this season, very fast and good in attack, but maybe he's going to have to do a bit more defending, because people did say, didn't they, can this wing-back play full-back? And that will show if he can. But, he's got the pace to deal with Saka. I don't think, Saka's been all right to start the season, but let's just hope he has him in the pocket.
We've got Van der Ven as covering the centre as well. That's coming back as well. We've got to remember. Last season, we'd have had Eric Dyer coming back. You know what I mean? But now we've got Van der Ven chasing. That fills me with a lot more hope. Is Martinelli injured, or is it one of them injured?
Well, I don't think he's on the bench tonight. So let me see tonight.
They said there's a possibility he'll be back. So
he said there's a possibility, but the way he said it, he didn't seem confident. So I'm reading, he could. He's not in the squad at all tonight.
I mean, it looked like he had a hamstring, so that's usually 2 weeks minimum. at the very best, right?
I'm worried more about Porro's defence attributes. I think that's why I'm asking that than Adobe's.
Yeah, I'm definitely less worried about someone like Trossard in his
still a good player though.
dribbling ability. He's a different player, but I'm not saying he's a bad player. But Martinelli one-on-one is a demon when it comes to his dribbling.
Exactly.
He's incredible. Trossard's not as good, so I'm less worried about Trossard in those aspects than I am about Martinelli.
Would you put Royale over Porro for the NLD?
It's a good question, actually.
Got sent off, didn't he, last year in the same?
He needs to right those wrongs from last year. That's what
the reason why I wouldn't, I think if Martinelli was fit, I'd consider it. But the reason why I wouldn't is because I think Arsenal are going to be leaving a lot of space, just like we are. But I think Arsenal just as much are going to be leaving a lot of space. And if Porro can find an opportunity to play a through ball to Son, or something like that, I much more back him to be able to pull it off than someone like Emerson from a deep line position. So I think
I don't think he'll be well in the midfield. In the midfield, I don't think Emerson is as strong either, where Porro's going to drift into that position. I think, as you say, the passing, the strength, I think Porro's better in that position, which is a shame because obviously Emerson did start that first game quite well, but I feel like he still couldn't deal with Mbueno and Vissa. So I think Porro's the better.
We are away at the Emirates, and I think there might be more defending to do than we've been doing so far. That's the only my
definitely.
Arsenal's defense don't really hold up well at the Emirates. They keep conceding in the first few minutes of every single home game.
I think they haven't kept a clean sheet at home since January or something. It's been a long time since they kept a clean sheet at home. So for some reason, they seem to be a bit open when it comes to their home form. Maybe it's because when they're at home, they're a bit more confident and they're not as measures that they commit a lot more players forward. I feel like away from home, they're a lot more compact and they're a lot more defensively conscious. Whereas at home, maybe they let go a bit. But look, North London Derby
build-up players much slower away from home and they're much more, solid and composed.
Haven't they got a dog called Win, which is the most David French thing to do? That's absolutely embarrassing, isn't it? That dog goes missing.
He was in the team photo. Did you see that? He's at the front.
Right.
I don't know. Arteta does loads of weird stuff.
He's David Win, isn't he? He's David.
What was the light? What was the light bulb thing where he took the light bulb into training?
It's I want you all to be like Thomas Edison, be creative and invent electricity, whatever. Invent the light bulb.
You'll never walk alone on the training pitch. Envisage you're at Anfield.
Surely most Arsenal fans look at that go, shut up, man.
100%. I think there's a lot of different tactical battles, though, when it comes to this North London derby. And I think the fact that they're playing tonight as well, I think definitely plays into our favour because I definitely think in terms of energy and intensity, it's going to be a big factor as to who picks up if anyone picks up all 3 points, who it is going to be. I think who can find more space, Maddison or Odegaard, is going to be a very crucial factor as to who is more influential in this game. But what I am worried about is definitely Arsenal's wingers compared to our wingers because they're just a bit more explosive, especially Saka. Obviously, if Martinelli's fit, he's in there. I'm less worried about Trossard. I think he's more in the Kulusevski kind of mold of a winger. But when it comes to Saka, they've got a really explosive winger who really enjoys playing in the space and is so good in one-on-one situations. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to who of the wingers on either side wins their individual battles with their fullback. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to that. And I'm just looking at Saka. I can see him. I'm not saying Udogie is bad or a liability, but Saka's just incredible with his pace and dribbling ability, and he's strong as well. And I'm looking at Kulusevski and Solomon, and or it depends who we play, but I'm not as confident in Solomon beating White. I do think Kulusevski can get some joy out of Zinchenko, but it's just where the position where he's picking the ball out.
Zinchenko, mate. I'm really hoping Zinchenko plays. The way these lot go on about Zinchenko, I swear he's like Roberto Carlos or something. I swear, the geezer cannot defend to save his life. I really hope he plays.
Winschenko.
We got to target him. We got to target him time and time again. Get Brennan Johnson in behind Zinchenko every time.
That's a good
And I think Basuma as well is going to be vital with because if he plays like he's been playing in the last first few games with his ability to be press resistant and actually attack the space when he finds it, and if he can perform in a similar way, I think that's going to be a big key to winning that midfield battle, because I don't think Rice is capable of doing the same thing. And what's going to happen is Bissouma's going to break the lines, hopefully, with his press resistance and ball carrying, and that's going to draw attention, and it's going to force Arsenal to commit players towards him. And hopefully, if they do that, that should open up the spaces for the likes of Maddison to find a bit more space in the final third. Whereas I don't see Rice having that ball carrying ability that Bissouma has. So hopefully that we could still lock down Odegaard more than they're able to lock down Maddison. So there's a few different tactical battles going on in this game, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
You know what we need this weekend? We need Bissouma to have one of those Moussa Dembele London derby performances where he just literally just goes, look, no one's taking the ball off me today, and I'm just going to dribble around all of you lot, and it doesn't matter what you do, I'm controlling this game. That's exactly what we need from Bissouma this weekend. And if that happens, then I'm
3-0 win. That's
what are you saying, Tim? What score do you reckon?
I said 3-2 to Spurs in my.
Did you believe that, or did you say that because we were with Arsenal fans?
I believe it. I never say anything.
Eunice the ball header. He'll come on as a sub.
I just look. Whether we win, lose, or draw, it's not. We're still going in the right direction. That's the main thing. But I look. The fact of the matter is, Arsenal are ahead of us in their project, and at the end of the day, we have this is our biggest test. This is also the first time we're probably going to come up. Well, look, Man United also did try to dominate the ball, and I felt like they did for a bit before we found solutions, and we started to dominate the ball in midfield. So I think Arsenal obviously better at keeping the ball than Man United. So this is the first time where I think we come up against a team who are really good at keeping the ball and have a lot of quality as well. And so it's going to be interesting to see how we cope with that. Are we still going to dominate the ball, or are we going to cede possession to Arsenal? I think that's going to be a big question mark as to who basically. We just don't know. It's too tough to say. But I'm going. I think the fact that Arsenal are playing tonight and are playing their full strength team, and we have a free week, and we're going there full of confidence, and Arsenal aren't playing that well at the moment. I'm just hoping all those factors can have a big say in Spurs actually pulling off a surprise on Sunday. And I think we can. I think tactically, I think they're our kryptonite, but we could possibly be their kryptonite as well in terms of how we play. I think they want us to play the way we're playing, but we also want them to play the way they're playing as well. So I think we're both kind of excited about each other's tactics. I think we want the space that they're going to leave, and they want the space that we're going to leave. So I think a lot of it is going to come down to who exploits it the best and where the quality is, and basically taking your chances, essentially. So, and when it comes to taking your chances, we have the most clinical finisher on the pitch when it comes to Son. So I'm just banking on that making the difference.
That's a sim. You're going 3-2. Sonny, you're going 2-2, did you say?
Yeah, 2-2. I'm gonna sit on the fence.
James, you're going 2-1, yeah?
1, yeah. What are you saying?
I think I said 2-1 last night, so I'm gonna stick with that one. I think we're gonna take the lead early. It's just about how we react to that, because Arsenal will come on very strong at some point during the game. So we just need to hold very strong with Romero and Van de Ven, Udogie and Porro. And I think if we can ride up that wave that Arsenal throw at us at some point, then I think we can go on and win this game. Like I said, Bissouma is going to be absolutely crucial to this game. So let's go there. Let's go there with our chests puffed out and get the result. And let's show some confidence. And let's just play. Let's just play the way we've been playing all season. And if they play the way they've been playing all season, and we play the way we've been playing all season, we win this game, in my opinion.
And I feel like, in those moments that you're talking about, I think it's important not to be like penned in by Arsenal and just allow them like wave after wave. And
that's what I'm saying, though. It will happen at some point.
And but I think it's important. I know that will happen, but I think it's important is we still maintain a threat on the counter attack and not just put everyone in our box, because like Everton did essentially offered no threat, because then it gives Arsenal encouragement to just have waves, sustain the attacks wave after wave. If we counter punch and, like, for example, we're they're penning us in, and then all of a sudden one long ball to Brendan Johnson and we're on goal, and and all of a sudden we're showing them that if you do what you're doing right now and committing all your players, we're going to counterpunch you and make them think a bit more about what they're doing. Then all of a sudden you make them doubt themselves, and all of a sudden I think we can take confidence from that. So that's why I probably would play Brendan Johnson, but it's about who Brendan Johnson comes in for in that front three. I think we need that pace. I think Solomon has better ball carrying ability than Johnson, but Johnson just has that lightning quick pace in behind, which I don't think Solomon has. And but then again, Kulusevski again as well. The reason I would keep Kulusevski in the team is because of his physicality, and if we were to go long, I actually back him to like win a physical duel up against Zinchenko. If, like, say, we would to take a long goal kick, we could aim it at Kulusevski, and without him, I don't think we'd have anyone to aim it at in the front three. So that's why I would side over Kulusevski over Solomon in this kind of game. And then we still have that electric pace of Johnson, and we have that pace in behind of Son as well. So that's why I'd go.
I want the triple threat in behind threats with even Solomon. He's got pace. He hasn't shown anything in behind just yet, but I think he was causing problems on the weekend in the first half especially. So I want to see Johnson, Son, and Solomon as our front three. As much as Kulusevski was brilliant on the weekend, that's the three. I think,
like you were saying, like later on.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Kulusevski gives us a bit of an outball, which I don't think we have unless he's on the pitch. Like, there's no real physicality. If we're struggling and they're going man to man, we need someone who's able to actually get the ball and hold off their man and hold it up a bit. Kulusevski's the only one I can see in that front three who can do that.
Yeah, fair point.
His strength.
It's a fair point. So maybe you just start with Brendan Johnson on the bench and then bring him on with like half an hour to go or something like that.
That's also, maybe if I think he'd be more effective if we're winning to bring him on, and then he can
go for the kill.
Which is why I think I would start him. Because I think Arsenal are going to go for us, and then that's going to leave a lot of space for someone like Johnson, and I think we're going to need that space. But Solomon's earned the right to start, hasn't he? He's playing very well. It's unfair to drop him, isn't it?
You know what? This game, man, something always happens in this game where no matter what form we're going into it,
form goes out the window, doesn't it? It's no.
I just hate it. I hate this game.
I was doing a film thing today just outside the stadium, and I said, "What do you think about the NLD? What's the first words?" It's like the enjoyment is not the same. There's no build-up. We're getting looking forward to the game. It's like almost like apprehension, isn't it?
Yeah.
Against for Tottenham and Arsenal, you don't enjoy the game, really, do you? You don't sit there and enjoy it.
The worst days are like the 2 days before North London derby. I just get too nervous. I want it to be over. I just hate the feeling of maybe potentially losing to those lot. Yeah. And then during the game,
there's literally nothing worse than being in that stadium when we're losing. There is literally nothing worse.
No.
Oh, it's horrific. At the end, last season as well was we were 2-0 down at half time. Lloris had chucked one in the net. We never looked close to scoring as well. It was just horrific. That
3-1.
There was that one at the Emirates, which Lloris also chucked another one in that game. I'm talking about the one at White Hart Lane. But yeah, the Emirates as well. I think Lloris made 2 howlers in both games. He made a howler at the Emirates and a howler at the Lane. So having Vicario, hopefully not making any howlers, will hopefully.
Didn't we start that game at the Emirates last year quite well, and then Partey just scored like a pile driver from nowhere?
Yeah, I remember it was 1-1 at half time. We got a penalty, and we were looking
right for half time, right? Yeah,
it was 1-1. We were looking all right. We were counter-attacking quite well, and then Lloris just makes a howler, and then Emerson got sent off, and it was game over after the hour, and that was it. Pretty much.
All right. Well, sorry to finish off on a. But we're going to take them this weekend.
Wait, before we finish, I want to just ask James, how's the last 2 weeks been for you? Because as Ben mentioned at the top of the show, you've been on Talk Sports, Sky Sports, all these different things off the back of your song about Ange Postecoglou. It's become a phenomenon. Like, I was watching a Russell Brand podcast. I mean, not to mention him right now, but I was watching a podcast from him, and he was talking about how much he loved it. I was watching that song. I was watching the SDS podcast, and they're full of Arsenal fans, and they're all singing the song because they love the song so much, even though they're Arsenal fans.
Gary Lineker
ended match of the day with that song as well.
Yeah.
Just tell me what it's been like for you over the last 2 weeks about all the attention you've been getting.
How it was like for me, I could never be able to. I've done loads of things in music that I'm happy with, but I could never describe to you the feeling. I was in the concourse, and because I have to leave to get ready to play, and it was 1-1. Then we scored, and I just dropped to my knees, just being so happy. And I know it's people say only Sheffield United, but it's the manner and the minute. So happy. And then as I'm up on my knees, I can hear the fans starting to sing the lyrics. And I'm like, what? So already I'm feeling a great moment. So I run out into the stadium and the fans are singing it. Now nothing will compare to that. And that includes like Robbie or whatever talking about it, because this is all for the fans. Like the fans will tell you if something's good or bad, and so they should. The football club is Tottenham Hotspur, the fans. So when they're picking it up and they're singing it off their own, that feeling was better than anything I've ever sort of really. I've had it a bit with the Champions League one, but not as good as this. And it wasn't. Yeah, that's insane. And everything after that, it's just enjoyed it. Just been happy and just enjoying it. The club are engaging with me. The club are happy with what I'm doing, and that's coming from like the top people with me. So it's really nice that I'm getting that sort of support from them. But again, nothing is bigger than the fans singing it, and so they're the right judgments of whether a song's good or bad, and everything that's happened up and before it and will happen afterwards. The only thing that I'm really truly really proud of is the fans singing it in the stadium. That was just insane.
James, did you know they were going to play Angels at the end of the game?
I got an inkling, but I'll leave myself out of it. They'd come down with the cameras and they were speaking to me beforehand and stuff. Because they got on to match day, the match day uncut thing. There was
That's it. I saw you on that as well. Yeah.
And so I kind of knew something was kind of happening, but just the best way to do it is you leave them up. You can't tell them what to do or whatever, just leave it up to them. And when they come down, all the fans were singing in the White Hart Bar already, so I think they kind of knew to try and get hold of it. But I was also getting not just the fans of the stadium. I get like, for example, today on my phone, I've got fans from Mexico, China, Singapore, sending me them singing like stuff and singing the song, and it's like it's going around the world. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Unbelievable.
And do you find it funny, like Talk Sport, like they invite you to the studio just to play Angels on your guitar? It's just quite funny, isn't it?
It's quite funny. Yeah, it's weird. It's like I think it's something that's. I don't think you ever see that really with musicians. It's a bit of a freak moment. I think it struck a chord at the right time, maybe the right lyrics at the right time. You have to have a bit of luck with this wave, and obviously Robbie, even though he didn't credit me at first, he helped out. If it weren't for Robbie, none of this would have existed, because I wouldn't have taken Angels anyway. And so he played a massive, massive part in this getting to where it got to. I mean, it had gone global before, because it went to Australia and UK, it went big before he got hold of it, which was great for me. But I was kind of like, not apprehensive is the thing. It's almost like it's not the important thing. Like the important thing is the fans. And so that just, at the end on Saturday, it was like, wow, this song's done really well, and just felt proud of it at that moment. Come back home, turned on Match of the Day.
Yeah.
The reason I support Tottenham is Paul Gascoigne and Gary Lineker, and he ends on that. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Simulation or...
Tell us, James, any more songs in the pipeline? What are you working on at the moment?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, this just again, it's about feeling the vibe of the crowd. I've got one that's I think you guys put on your channel that I quite like. We've got our Tottenham back with "Come On Feel the Noise." That went down really well. And there'll be things, and like moving forward, it'd be good to get something where we're involving the fans and stuff, and getting some ideas and that again, because it's about those guys. It's everything's for them. So. Yeah. That'd be good going forward as well. But yeah, there's definitely stuff. It's just got to be done in a nice, organic, club first kind of scenario. Because I'm a Tottenham fan first. I'm not a musician trying to be boosted. I'm a Tottenham fan. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But James, do you want to tell the people where they can find you more online?
Yeah, Voice of Spurs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I'm playing at the Liverpool game, Shelf Bar. Block 120, level 1, pre and post game.
Awesome. I hope to be there. Sonny, thanks for coming on again, my friend. Tell the people where they can find you.
So obviously, Sunny Talk Spurs on YouTube. I hit the 1,000 subscribers. I think that was mainly due to being on here as well with you guys, so that helped out massively. And then Sunny Snelling on my other social channels as well. I'm currently not writing any music, so maybe I should go away and write my own song.
You have to get a viral hit. Come back with a song next time you're on.
I'll learn the guitar.
Well, big up, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining in today. We'll see you all very soon. North London derby this weekend. So let's get hyped up. Let's go to the Emirates and take 3 points and send them back to Woolwich. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.